We're going to start from Siman Tov Samach Ches. So the tour brings over there in Tov Samach Ches. Just 1 second, let me just open it over here. Okay, he talks about doing malacha erev Pesach. So it's like this: after Chatzos, it's also mitzad adin everywhere to do malacha erev Pesach. Why and what? We're not going to get into it now. Now, before Chatzos, so it says v'koydem Chatzos totally b'minag hamokem. Totally in the minag. So hamokem shenagu isur osur. If the place they had the minag not to do malacha, then you're not allowed to do malacha. Hamokem shalano hagumuter. If the minag before Chatzos, before midday, the din of a minhag not to work, so you're allowed to work. But after Chatzos, it's not allowed. Okay, but Kitzer will say even the reason because the time of Beis Hamikdash, since there was a time after Chatzos to bring Korban Pesach, and whoever brought ever Korban in Beis Hamikdash, even an individual, it becomes his Yom Tov. Since after Chatzos we could bring the Korban Pesach and we brought it, it becomes our Yom Tov. On Yom Tov, you're not allowed to work. So Mamela, since the whole Klal Yisrael, time of Beis Hamikdash, brought Korban Pesach, it's like a shtickle Yom Tov. Mamela, they were not allowed to work. But before Chatzos, it's totally b'minhag. So that's since even though we don't have Korban Pesach, but we keep that halacha today also. But there's a lot of things we do today. Zecher leBeis Hamikdash, another way to remember Beis Hamikdash. Okay, now there's another halacha over here. What happens if you? And now talking about Erev Pesach in the morning, which is that's totally b'minhag, whether you're allowed to work or not. Depends if they're working in that place or not. What happens if you travel from one place to another? You come from a place that they work over there, you go to a place that don't work, or vice versa. What do you do then? So it says like this: you have to do according to the minhag of the mokem. Shadaita lishtakeya shom. Im dato lishtakeya b'mokem shabo shom yasakim enogam. If you're traveling and you're traveling to, you're basically moving from one place to another. You're going to settle in a new community now. Even though you come from a community that do one way, now you have to do according to the minhag of the community where you come to live there now. Obviously, if you're a visitor, he doesn't speak about it. What happens if the lotion of the tour is lishtakeya, if you're coming to settle over there. And he says, when you're coming to settle over there, yasakim enogam ben l'chumra, ben l'kula. Whether it's a stricter minhag, more a lenient minhag, you do according to the minhag, the way they do over there. Either way, you go kiminhag hamokim. V'im daita lachzor l'makoyim. If you're just a visitor in a place, you're going back to your place after Yom Tov, yina kiminhag ansha makoyim. Over there, you have to do according to what they do now. Okay. And meaning, even you're gonna go back. Yeah, right now you have to do like they're doing over there. Meaning, kansha makoyim, where you come from, right? If you're going back, right. When you go, if you're going back home after Yom Tov, you're gonna do according to where you come from. However, v'anamila, there's a string attached to it. V'anamila b'tzina. If you're doing things quietly inside the house, shalom b'fnei ansha hamokem, not publicly. Asher bosham, meaning if you have a minhag in your place to do certain thing and you're gonna go back home, if things that you quietly, you could do like where you come from. Aval b'fneim, if you do in front of the people publicly, like you work publicly. If it's going to come to a conflict and says, oh, you're working, we don't work over here. It says, in order to avoid machloikes in public, you do according to where you are now. So it comes out like this. The difference between lishtakeya and not lishtakeya. If you're coming to settle in a new place, you go according to them, whether it's l'chumra or l'kula, you do Kiminag Hamokim. And if you're going back, if it's something B'tzina, if it's something quietly at home, you do according to where you come from. And if something in public, you still do the way the people of Yidden, because we want to avoid machloikes. Okay. Even though they locally they do a weird thing, it's more lenient than what you got used to. How much more if they're more stringent, you go according to them. Okay, that's the tour over here. I wanted to use this halacha, very very common halacha. They sell over here locally and many other stores in America. They sell a lot of products like kitniyos, and they write on it. Kosher lepesach leochle kitniyos. It's kosher lepesach. Whoever it there's a minhag that the tour brings this minhag. The war minhagim that they ate kitniyos al pi halacha l'kula alma mitzad ikar adin. It's no problem eating kitniyos. It's not chametz according to anybody. There was such a one opinion in Gemara. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, who don't paskin like him, according to him, rice, only rice, nothing else. Among the kitniyos, many things kitniyos. Kitniyos could be rice, corn, and some other stuff over there. But according to Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri in Maseches Chala, oires, which is rice, it could become chometz. And according to him, if you do matzah out of it, like you could be yoytze b'pesach, but we don't paskin like him. So l'ma'aser la'halacha, kitniyos are no shaila mitzad ikar adin. It's no chometz, no shaila of chometz. But there was minhag of geoinim. There were some were noig not to eat kitniyos for whatever reason. They were afraid that people are going to mix it up with something else, and they're going to come to eat other grains like the 5 grain, which has become chometz, the asadat. So that minhag was niskabel in some communities, mostly in Ashkenazi communities. And it was not niskabel in most Sephardic communities. Some Sephardic communities did take this minhag also. The Kaf HaChaim bring. There was some Sephardic community that had it. So if somebody in a Sephardic community they're eating kitniyos, that's perfectly okay for them. In Ashkenazi community they're not allowed to, because according to their minhag they don't eat kitniyos. Now the question would become, what you do living over here, selling it in like in a store over here, in a supermarket over here, selling hummus, tchina, all these are kitniyos. And I just saw in a store they're selling bazooka gums that they say only for oichle kitniyos. Otherwise, it's not kosher lepesach. Are you allowed to sell it by letting them know it's oichle kitniyos? Are you allowed to do it? Now, l'choyer, according to what we just learned now, if you go from one place, there's a minhag one way, and you're going to another place. The minhag of over here, and most communities in America, I would say 95%, if not greater, are people that follow the minhagim of the Ramah. That's the fact. Like in our community, I would say at least 95%. But anyway, that's definitely the majority of people that following the minhagim Ramah. And according to them, they don't eat kitniyos. Yeah, and it says clearly over here, whatever is done b'faresia, whatever is done b'faresia, you don't change from the minhag hamokim. So to put over there a sign, this is l'ochle kitniyos, the chayretz goes against the minhag hamokim. So l'chayre, I would say b'pashtus, it should not be sold publicly. The question would be, because again, that's like we just learned, you do according to minhag hamokim, and that inyan of minhag hamokim brought many times the Shulchan Aruch. It brought over here Tov Samaches. It's brought in Siman Tov Kuf Ayin Dalad Hilchos Yom Tov. It brought in Tov Tzadik Vav, and many places. I talk about the details, and the poskim dwell in it. The inyan of minhag hamokim. So the question would be now, again, I believe selling it publicly, it's not appropriate, because the minhag hamokim, it's not to do it. And furthermore, Kaf HaChaim brings, he brings over there the Kaf HaChaim, and on this siman, the Kaf HaChaim brings that if somebody is an Ashkenazi rabbi, it's not from him, he quotes another sefer, and he paskins L'kula lekula according to the Shulchan Aruch. They usually they don't follow the B'Siyosef, they follow the Ramah, or vice versa. As far as the rabbi that normally follow the B'Siyosef now paskening like the Ramah lekula, he says it's wrong to do that because you cannot use one to another lekula. So just jumping from one to another, and also it says you do according to minhag hamokim. Okay, now I'm going to read you the Magen Avraham over here. The Magen Avraham says over here, and Simon Katan Yud Beis on this Tov Samaches. The Magen Avraham says like this. I'm going to read you first the Shulchan Aruch. It goes on the Shulchan Aruch like this. If you're not in a desert, if you're b'yishuv, you mean in a community, you're not allowed to change from the minhag of the community. If you're in a desert, no community over there, then you could do whatever according to your minhag, whatever is your minhag, because there's no community. The whole idea is not a conflict for people. You're in a desert. There's like this. If you're going from a place that don't do work, to a place that do work, he says, don't do the work, don't work over there. Listen, meaning the machmir and you both ways. And over there, the Gemara brings the reason you machmir not to work if you come to a place that don't work, because people don't know why you don't work. Many people don't work on any day of the year. They don't have work. So people are not going to say because you machmir. They won't bring to machloikes. They say you don't have work. Anyways, Al Kapani is like this. Don't show off to everybody that you're not working. You're machmir. Don't show off. Yeah. Isur. Yeah, because don't show them that you're not working because it's an Easter, not because you have no work. Say, oh, I have a lot of work to do, but I'm not working today. You're showing off because that's going to bring machloikas. Don't do it because people think I don't have work. I finished my work already. I'm retired or I'm on vacation now, whatever. But it do it at Easter is going to bring machloikas. Okay. Okay, then the Magen Avraham, the word Vushalo Yisrael brings mashma the chlolo lechol mide the achilo v'shar dvorim mutorim b'tzina chutz mimalacha. The Magen Avraham says that's going to be the klal. There's minhagim lagabe achilo. Yeah, so he says if you're eating at home b'tzina, you're eating in your own home. It's not in public. Then you could go according to your own minhag. But anything public like work, that's you have to be very careful over there, not to show off that you have a different minhag. Now, because by Malocha, Yivshal has Betzina. Lochan Loshore, yeah, Ela Bamidbar. Then he brings like this. At the conclusion of this, I can undo Rashoyin lahatiram b'fneim dumya di Yerushalayim she'anogim isur melacha shumila de faresia. So anything faresia, you don't change from the minhag. Anything betzina like achil, according to this comes out, yeah, you're allowed to eat. You're allowed to eat. The Sfardi allowed to buy hummus and eat hummus at home because it's sinna. But I would say the selling it b'faresia, it should be not appropriate because it's mefaresia again. You're creating right here a machlokes, and also a lot of people don't know. A lot of people they just see kosher or pesach, they don't know what's and they might you're causing them now to be nichshel because just let me finish. Okay, now this is, however, the Alter Rebbe and many poskim that's including if you look in the. It's the Mechaber himself in Tovkuf Ayin Dalet, the way the Mishnah Berurah brings over there. It says clearly over there. Let me get the Alter Rebbe over here. All this that you're allowed to do b'tzina, you're allowed to do quietly, things that are not in public. For example, like I said, eating your hummus, you're allowed to do it only if you, I brought the wrong only if you traveler. But if you moving to a place, mishtakeya, when you move to a community, you must take upon yourself all the minogim of this community. So according to the, like I said, this is muskam, and if you look on the Mechaber Tovkuf Ayin Dal, the Mishnah Berurah over there, and I'm going to read you now from the Alter Rebbe over here, comes that it's not appropriate in people that living in a community dominated by the minogim that's going following the Ramah to eat kitniyos. I'm going to read you inside now. Okay. If somebody moved from a place, talking about working over here the first day of Erev Pesach, he went from the place that they working in the morning of Pesach, and he went to the place he lives now in a place that they don't do Malacha Pesach in the morning. Im and daita lachzer, the Rosel Oilam, Lomokam Shiyotzam Misham. He settled over there. He bought a house in the community. He lives in the community. I mean, we're all not going to be here forever. We're going to go to Yerushalayim, but right now you mean to live there. He becomes a part of the community. All the stringencies they have in this place, it's chal on everybody. That's the Lashon of the Alter Rebbe, and he quotes the Ran and the Levush and other poskim that even privately at home comes out like this. Yeah, because the Sfardim eat hummus or tchina on Pesach. Yeah, it's kitniyos, and they're allowed to. But if you live in a community, again, that 95% is dominated, people following the Ramah, so you have to follow the minogim. Even somebody living out of chutz l'tchum. Then he goes through the details, but again, I'm not talking about that if you really you never reach the city, you never came. But if somebody lived in the community, then you're not allowed to do it. So again, the way it looks to me, and like I said, you could. I have a lot of mekoros. So if somebody wants to see, you could see the Orach Chaim, the Mechaber Tov Kuf Ayin Dalet, and you could see the and Shulchan Aruch Simch Tov Tzadik Vov Kaf HaChaim in Simon Kotan Nun Vov. It looks clearly. If you live in a place, you must follow the minogim. If you move to a place, all the chumras. For example, if somebody would be vice versa. For example, if somebody would move to Morocco, there's a community over there. Right now, there's a big community in Dubai. People moving over there. Let's say the minhag would be Dubai. I don't think there's any minhag in Dubai, but let's say minhag over there that do eat rice over there. Yeah, let's say an Ashkenazi guy, which is have a lot of Ashkenazim living in Morocco and Dubai now, and let's say the minhag over there is to eat rice. He doesn't want to eat. That's not a problem because he said, I don't eat rice. I don't eat meat. It doesn't show you're doing as long as you don't show off. You tell them I'm not in because I have a umrah. But if the place is not to eat. Like, for example, a Sfadi moves to Ashkenazi community and they don't eat over their kitniyos, rice, corn, hummus, and tchina. From the way it looks in the poskim, if you move there, you're living there, you're not allowed to do the filu betzina. And if you're a visitor over there, you're not settled over there, you're just a visitor, then betzina at home, you're allowed to eat. You can publicly, selling publicly, the Choyra looks from the poskim over here, that's a dover also. Okay. Thank you very much. Mr. Hashem, we'll see you tomorrow.